What if I told you that owning a car is quietly draining your wealth, and you do not even realize it? Every month you are paying for more than just gas and insurance. You are locked into a system designed to keep you spending. But here's the twist. You can break free without strict budgeting, sacrificing convenience, or downgrading your car. Most people assume car ownership is unavoidable, a necessary expense of modern life. But what if there was a way to keep your mobility while saving thousands every year? The truth about car costs is far worse than you think, but the solutions are simpler than you expect. Why do people lose so much money on their cars without realizing it? What is the secret to cutting costs while still enjoying the same lifestyle? And how can you start saving immediately? Let's find out. The cost you never saw coming. It starts small. A slightly higher payment than expected, a fuel bill that keeps creeping up, insurance rates that seem to increase for no reason. Then come the bigger expenses, unexpected repairs, maintenance fees, depreciation losses. Before you know it, you are spending more on your car than on food, savings, or even rent. And the worst part? This is by design. The auto industry thrives on the fact that most buyers never look beyond the monthly installment. Dealers, lenders, and insurers all count on the fact that people will not do the math on the full cost of ownership. But today, that changes. By the end of this, you will see exactly where your money is going, how to stop the financial drain, and how to keep your car without letting it ruin your budget. It is not about giving up your car. It is about outsmarting the system that keeps you paying more than you need to. My $70,000 mistake and how I fixed it. I lost $70,000 in one day, and I did not even realize it. When I bought my first car, I was convinced it was the right decision. I had just started my new job, and I wanted something that reflected my success. A car was more than just a way to get around. It was a status symbol, a sign that I had made it. So I walked into the dealership and drove off in a brand new luxury car. It felt incredible, until 4 months later when I convinced myself I needed something bigger, better, and even more expensive. That was the moment I made the worst financial decision of my life. I upgraded. The second I signed that contract, I lost $70,000 in depreciation. The car that seemed like a dream purchase instantly became a financial nightmare. And I was not alone. Most people make the same mistake without realizing it. Depreciation is the silent killer of wealth. The second a new car leaves the dealership, its value drops. Within the first year, it loses at least 20% of its value. Within 5 years, that number can be over 60%. But it is not just about the resale value. Depreciation increases every other expense. Insurance rates are based on the car's value. Loan payments are stretched out over years, with interest stacking up. Even maintenance costs more because high-end cars require high-end service. The good news: there is a way out. I started by reassessing my priorities. I did not need a car that impressed others. I needed one that worked for me. I refinanced my loan, renegotiated my insurance, and made changes that immediately lowered my monthly payments. I learned that cars do not have to be a financial trap. If you understand how the system works, you can play the game differently. And here is the twist. Most people are still making the same mistake every single day, but you will not. Because now, you know better. The 5 cost traps keeping you poor. You think your car payment is your biggest expense? Think again. Most people assume that once they have budgeted for their car payment, they have accounted for the majority of their expenses. But the reality is far worse. There are 5 major cost traps that slowly drain your money month after month, making car ownership one of the biggest financial burdens you will ever take on. The first trap is loan and financing. If you financed your car, you are likely paying far more than the sticker price. Interest rates, loan terms, and dealer markups add thousands to the total cost. Even a small percentage increase in interest can mean paying thousands more over the life of your loan. And if you ever try to trade in your car before the loan is paid off, you will often find yourself underwater, owing more than the car is worth. The second trap is fuel. Gas prices fluctuate, but one thing remains constant. Cars require fuel, and fuel is expensive. Many drivers do not realize how much they spend on gas each month, especially if they drive long distances daily. And it is not just about fuel efficiency. Driving habits, route planning, and even the time of day you fill up can make a difference in how much you pay at the pump. The third trap is insurance. Most drivers set up their insurance policy once and forget about it, never questioning why their rates keep increasing. Insurance companies rely on customer inertia, even when better deals are available. If you are not actively renegotiating your policy or shopping around, you are overpaying. The fourth trap is maintenance. Every car needs repairs and upkeep. Tires wear out, oil needs changing, parts break. Dealerships and mechanics take advantage of this, charging premium prices for services that can often be done for a fraction of the cost. Many car owners neglect maintenance until a major repair is needed. By then, the bill is much higher than it should have been. The fifth and final trap is depreciation. This is the most overlooked expense. Every year your car loses value. The longer you own it, the less it is worth. Unlike other major purchases, a car will never increase in value. The trick is to manage depreciation strategically, buying at the right time, selling at the right time, and choosing models that hold their value better. Once you spot these traps, you can start escaping them immediately. The key is not to eliminate car ownership, but to take control of these costs before they control you. How to escape the car expense cycle. Imagine keeping your car but saving $1,000 a month without sacrificing anything. Most people think the only way to cut car expenses is by driving a cheaper car or getting rid of their vehicle altogether. But the truth is, you do not need to downgrade. You just need to outsmart the system. The first step is understanding that every dollar spent on your car is negotiable. Financing terms, insurance premiums, fuel efficiency, and even maintenance costs can all be optimized. It is not about giving up convenience. It is about making sure your money works for you, not against you. The second step is changing how you think about car ownership. A car is not an investment, it is an expense. The faster you come to terms with that, the better financial decisions you will make. Instead of focusing on features, brand names, or prestige, shift your focus to long-term savings and cost efficiency. The third step is taking immediate action. Refinancing your loan, renegotiating your insurance, adjusting your driving habits, and maintaining your car properly can all lead to significant savings. By the time you finish reading, you will know exactly where to start. It is not about sacrificing, it is about taking control, because once you do, you will never look at car expenses the same way again. The loan trap and how to escape it. Your car loan is designed to keep you broke. Here's how to fight back. Every time you make a monthly payment, a large portion of it disappears into interest rather than actually reducing what you owe. Most people don't realize they are trapped in a cycle where they pay thousands more than necessary over the lifetime of their loan. But here's the good news. You can take back control. The first step is understanding how lenders structure loans to maximize their profit. When you sign a loan agreement, the initial payments are heavily weighted toward interest, meaning you are barely making a dent in the actual amount you owe. This is called front-loading interest, and it keeps you tied to high payments for as long as possible. The longer the term of your loan, the worse this problem becomes. A longer loan may seem attractive because of lower monthly payments, but in reality, you end up paying much more over time. One of the easiest ways to cut costs is refinancing. By refinancing your car loan, you can negotiate a lower interest rate, a shorter term, or both. The key to success is having a good credit history and shopping around for better rates. Contact multiple lenders, including credit unions, which often offer lower rates than traditional banks. Before you refinance, calculate how much you will save to ensure it is worth the effort. The goal is to secure a lower rate without extending the loan term unnecessarily. Another overlooked strategy is making extra payments. Even small additional payments directly toward the principal can significantly reduce the amount of interest you pay over time. Lenders do not advertise this, but even one additional payment per year can shave months off your loan. If you are locked into a high-interest loan, do not assume you are stuck. Refinancing, negotiating better terms, or strategically making extra payments can help you escape the loan trap and free up hundreds each month. Now that we have tackled the cost of financing, let's move on to another major expense: fuel. The secret to spending less on fuel without driving less. Your car drinks fuel like a bottomless pit, but what if there were a way to cut costs without changing how often you drive? Most people think that fuel efficiency is all about choosing the right vehicle. While that does help, the way you drive and where you refuel can have just as big of an impact. One of the simplest ways to save money is by improving your driving habits. Rapid acceleration, sudden braking, and high speeds all burn excessive fuel. Instead, maintaining a steady speed and using cruise control on highways can improve efficiency dramatically. Keeping your tires properly inflated also makes a significant difference. Yet most drivers neglect this simple task. Gas stations use psychological pricing tricks to make you think you are getting a good deal when you are not. Many display cash prices in large font, but charge more for credit card transactions. Others offer discounts on fuel if you purchase additional products inside the store, which often offsets the savings. The real trick is to use mobile applications to track prices in your area. Fuel prices fluctuate frequently, and even a small difference per gallon adds up over time. Another overlooked strategy is refueling at the right time. Fuel prices typically rise before weekends and holidays when demand is highest. Filling up midweek often results in better prices. Additionally, avoiding gas stations near highways can save money, as they tend to charge more due to convenience. If you have access to warehouse club memberships, their fuel prices are usually lower than traditional stations. For those looking to make a long-term change, exploring hybrid or electric vehicles can significantly cut fuel costs. While this option may not be feasible for everyone, the savings over time are substantial, especially if government incentives are available. If switching vehicles is not an option, using a fuel rewards program can provide discounts every time you fill up. Fuel costs do not have to be a financial burden. By refining driving habits, being strategic about where and when you refuel, and taking advantage of available discounts, you can start saving immediately. But fuel is just one part of the equation. Insurance is another hidden expense that many people unknowingly overpay for. The insurance game and how to win it. Your insurance company hopes you never read this. Why? Because most people simply renew their policy each year without questioning the cost. This loyalty is costing you money. Insurers count on you staying put while they gradually increase premiums. The first step to slashing your bill is simple. Shop around. Many people believe switching insurance providers is a hassle, but the reality is that new customers often get better rates than existing ones. Insurance companies offer attractive introductory rates to lure in new clients, while long-term customers see steady premium increases. Comparing rates from multiple providers at least once a year ensures you are getting the best deal. Negotiating with your current provider is another effective strategy. Simply calling and asking for a lower rate can yield surprising results. Insurance companies would rather keep you as a customer at a lower rate than lose you entirely. Highlight any safe driving history, bundle policies if possible, and inquire about hidden discounts. One of the most overlooked discounts is usage-based insurance. Some providers offer lower rates for drivers who log fewer miles or maintain safe driving habits. If you work remotely or do not drive as frequently, this could lead to significant savings. Raising your deductible can also lower your premium, but only if you have the funds set aside to cover it in case of an accident. Insurance is a necessity, but overpaying is not. By shopping around, negotiating, and taking advantage of discounts, you can dramatically cut your insurance costs. With financing, fuel, and insurance tackled, there's one last area where savings can be massive: maintenance. The DIY maintenance hack that saves thousands. A simple trick mechanics do not want you to know. Learning just one basic skill can save you a fortune. Dealerships and service centers charge outrageous prices for routine maintenance. Yet many of these tasks require minimal effort and cost. One of the easiest ways to save is by handling your own oil changes. Mechanics charge significantly more than what it costs to do it yourself. With a simple oil filter wrench and a few minutes of your time, you can cut this expense by more than half. Air filters, brake pads, and windshield wipers are other components that can be replaced easily without professional help. Beyond routine maintenance, being proactive about vehicle care extends its lifespan and reduces costly repairs. Checking tire pressure regularly, keeping fluid levels in check, and replacing worn-out parts before they fail can prevent larger, more expensive issues. Mechanics bank on customers delaying maintenance until a minor issue becomes a major one. Staying ahead of problems eliminates these unnecessary costs. For those who prefer professional service, independent mechanics often charge significantly less than dealerships. Many people assume dealerships provide better service, but independent shops frequently offer the same quality at a fraction of the cost. Researching trusted mechanics and getting multiple quotes before approving a repair can save substantial amounts. Mastering even a few maintenance tasks puts money back in your pocket. Whether you handle it yourself or find ways to avoid dealership pricing, small changes add up to big savings. And that is how you fight back against high car costs, by outsmarting the system at every turn. The depreciation time bomb and how to slow it down. Your car is losing value every second you own it. The moment you drive it off the lot, it drops in worth, and as time goes on, it only gets worse. But what if you could slow it down? What if you could stretch out every dollar you put into your vehicle, making sure it holds its value for as long as possible? Depreciation is the hidden cost that no one talks about, but it is one of the biggest drains on your finances. The average car loses nearly half its value in the first 5 years alone. That means if you bought a vehicle for $30,000, in just 5 years, it would be worth only $15,000. Imagine taking $15,000 in cash and setting it on fire. That is what depreciation does to your wealth. The key to beating this financial sinkhole is understanding what makes some cars lose value faster than others. The first factor is brand reputation. Some manufacturers have a strong resale value because of their reliability, durability, and demand in the used market. If you buy a vehicle from a company known for cars that last 300,000 miles or more, depreciation slows down significantly. The second factor is the model you choose. Some trims and configurations hold value better than others. For instance, vehicles with manual transmissions or rare features often have a niche market, making them more valuable in the long run. The third factor is how you maintain your car. Regular servicing, keeping detailed records, and avoiding unnecessary modifications all help retain value. Another overlooked depreciation factor is mileage. A car that racks up too many miles too fast plummets in value. If you can reduce unnecessary driving, carpool, or use alternative transportation when possible, you can stretch the lifespan of your vehicle's worth. Driving gently also matters. Aggressive acceleration, sudden braking, and poor driving habits accelerate wear and tear, pushing the car's value down even further. When it is time to sell or trade in your car, small details can make a massive difference. A well-documented maintenance history increases buyer confidence and helps negotiate a better price. Keeping the interior and exterior in excellent condition prevents buyers from deducting hundreds or even thousands for cosmetic flaws. Choosing the right time to sell also matters. If you trade in your vehicle when dealerships are desperate for inventory, you will get a much better deal than when they are overstocked. By the end of this, your car will be worth more than you thought possible. Most people accept depreciation as an unavoidable cost, but with the right strategy, you can keep thousands of dollars in your pocket rather than watching them disappear. The leasing illusion. Is it ever worth it? Leasing sounds smart until you realize what is really happening. It is advertised as the perfect option for those who want a new car without the long-term commitment. But leasing is designed to make sure you never stop making payments. At first glance, leasing seems like an affordable alternative to buying. The monthly payments are lower than a traditional auto loan, and you get to drive a brand new car every few years. But there is a reason leasing companies love this arrangement. When you lease, you are paying for the depreciation of the vehicle, while the leasing company keeps ownership. Once your lease is up, you walk away with nothing. And if you want to keep driving, you have to start another lease or buy out the vehicle at an inflated price. One of the biggest hidden traps of leasing is mileage limits. Most leases come with a strict cap on how many miles you can drive per year. Exceed that limit, and you will be charged a hefty fee for every extra mile. This means you are essentially paying to rent a car that you cannot even use freely. On top of that, there are wear and tear penalties. If your leased vehicle has any scratches, dents, or interior stains, the dealership will charge you for repairs, even if they are minor. You might think leasing the right choice, but it also locks you into a cycle of never-ending payments. Unlike buying a car, where you eventually pay it off and own it outright, leasing ensures that you are always paying for the privilege of having a car. The dealership is banking on the fact that after 3 years of driving a leased car, you will want the next latest model, and they will offer you another lease with seemingly attractive terms. But in reality, you are just resetting the clock on your financial commitment. There are only a few cases where leasing makes sense. If you own a business and can write off your lease payments as a tax deduction, it might be beneficial. If you move frequently or have a temporary work assignment, leasing could provide flexibility. But for the average person, leasing is a financial trap disguised as convenience. If you have ever considered leasing, this might change your mind forever. The freedom of car ownership comes from knowing that one day your payments will end. Leasing guarantees they never will. The best financial move is to buy a reliable used car, keep it well maintained, and drive it for as long as possible. That is how you truly win the car game. The alternatives that actually work. What if you did not need a car at all? That might sound extreme, maybe even impossible, depending on where you live. But the truth is, millions of people around the world are already living without car ownership, and they are saving thousands every year while doing it. The question is not whether it is possible. The question is whether you are willing to rethink how you get around. Owning a car is often seen as a necessity, but when you break down the costs, it is one of the most expensive choices most people make. The monthly payment, insurance, fuel, maintenance, and depreciation add up fast, draining money that could be used for travel, investments, or even a more comfortable lifestyle. The reality is that alternatives exist, and they can provide just as much convenience without the financial strain. Subscription-based car services are one of the easiest ways to reduce car expenses, while still having access to a vehicle when needed. Instead of locking yourself into a long-term loan or lease, these services allow you to pay a fixed fee for a car only when you need it. This means no surprise repair bills, no long-term commitment, and no endless cycle of depreciation. Some services even include insurance, roadside assistance, and maintenance, making it a true all-in-one option. If you drive only a few times a month, this could be a far better deal than traditional ownership. Then there is bike sharing. In cities with strong cycling infrastructure, bike sharing programs provide a low-cost, flexible alternative to owning a car, with strategically placed stations and easy rental options. A bike can be a fast and efficient way to navigate urban areas. Some people hesitate, thinking it is impractical for long distances. But the combination of cycling and public transport can create a seamless commute that eliminates the need for a personal vehicle entirely. Carpooling is another overlooked solution. By splitting rides with coworkers, neighbors, or friends, you cut fuel costs, reduce wear and tear on your car, and sometimes even get access to faster carpool lanes that make commuting more efficient. In some cities, technology-driven carpooling platforms make it easier than ever to find and schedule shared rides, meaning you can still enjoy the convenience of a car without shouldering the full financial burden alone. When you put all these alternatives together, the savings become obvious. Instead of spending thousands every year just to own a depreciating asset, you are paying only for what you actually use. That freedom means more money for experiences, investments, or simply reducing financial stress. And the best part, you are not tied to a single method of transportation. You can mix and match these options to fit your needs, creating a system that works for you instead of the other way around. So now that you know everything, what are you going to do about it? Let's talk down in the comments, and thanks for watching.